Imagine putting an intelligent agent like a human into a totally new environment for the very first time. What should this agent do? As any agent goes through the journey of adapting to a new environment, they will naturally develop through 5 different stages. This is universal for all humans. All human behavior, anything anyone has ever done, can be understood as the pursuit of one of these types of goals. For human beings, we develop through these stages as a species throughout our history of adapting to life on Earth. Let's imagine the scenario of someone crash landing on a desert island as an example. The first kinds of goals that emerge are, of course, survival oriented. How do I survive? What can I eat? What will keep me safe and warm? We call these red aims. Organisms that don't solve those problems first will cease to exist. After survival needs, the natural next question becomes, well, what else is here? There's a lot more to understand about an environment than simply how it relates to basic survival. What are this world's rules? For example, this island has tides, so you probably shouldn't build a fire too close to the shore. Or this island has crabs, so you probably shouldn't leave your coconuts on the ground. In this stage, an agent is oriented around a desire to understand and conform to existing rules in that environment. We call these kinds of goals amber aims. So what happens after someone has learned all of the rules that are presented to them by the environment? Well, that naturally lays the foundation for them to start to create their own rules. Who says things have to work this way? How else could things be if I wanted them? This is the stage where an agent starts to impose their own rules onto the environment. Think of the Swiss Family Robinson and their innovative tree houses. Just because the island or the environment says that things work a certain way, that doesn't mean that we can't make things work the way that we want them to. The word to associate with this stage is achievement. You'll often see orange aims associated with numbers, trying to achieve the next highest number, a faster level of performance. As more achievements are made in the environment, the agent will begin to discover that the environment has changed. They have access to more options that provide them with the ability to explore preferences. What kinds of things and experiences that now exist in this environment do I like best? All the achievement from the orange stage expands the possible options that an agent can explore. The concept of self-actualization, or doing more of the things you personally enjoy and want to pursue, becomes really important in this stage. These kinds of goals, oriented around now actualizing individual preferences, are what we call green aims. Now at this point you may be recognizing just how much of human dispute is a result of people having different colored goals. This is the way that the world works and we need to follow these rules. And another group of people saying, says who? We can make the world work whatever way we want. And then another group of people saying, yeah, and I want a world that satisfies my specific tastes. The first 4 stages kind of have a problem all on their own, which is that they can't agree. For that, you need the help that comes from the perspective of the last stage. Let's think about our little character here, who through achievement is now in a situation where he can enjoy all the best things that this island, this environment has to offer. He's built machines that help him capture all of his favorite kinds of fish. He's got a great shelter to rest in. In some ways, you could say that he has achieved it all. But is access to all those pleasures enough to keep him happy forever? No. Unfortunately, because of how our brain chemistry works, even the things that we enjoy the most will lose their novelty after enough exposure. So, what happens next? What else is there? To answer that question, he builds a boat and sets off to explore. And what does he find as he explores what's beyond his own world? What does he find? Another island with another person going through the same developmental journey that he was going through, where before there was only one story of his own individual experience in his environment. Now there are 2. And here's the most important thing. The story of those 2 stories is an individual story all on its own. which means it's capable of going through the same developmental stages. So think about it. What's going to happen to this larger story? The story of these two neighbors and their relationship. Is that story going to continue? Is that story going to survive? If it does, if the story does continue, it will be up to the choices and the actions of these two people. And that is what the final stage is all about. It's when you see the actions and the choices of your own individual local story as playing a role in the part of a bigger story. A goal oriented around your actions helping a higher level story to at first simply survive, to continue, but maybe eventually to thrive. That is what we call a blue aim. It's the kind of aim that extends into a higher level story. Now, what's really helpful about having this kind of goal is that the higher level system, the bigger level story that you're a part of, gives context and provides order to the individual level goals. Yes, of course, I still want to survive, but now I have something that I am surviving for. Yes, it's important for me to understand and keep rules and to understand the way the world works, but what rules am I keeping that play a role in part of this bigger story? Yes, it's still fulfilling and exciting for me to achieve new levels, but what are the goals that I'm setting and how do they affect the bigger story? How do they help it move forward? Yes, it's still fun and enjoyable to indulge in life and to enjoy the things that I like, but how much of my own personal satisfaction is more important than this bigger mission that I believe in? This relationship between how the goals of an individual affect the whole, and also how the needs of the whole affect the goals of the individual, these are the foundation. At any given time, any agent is in the pursuit of one of these kinds of goals. When someone asks themselves, why am I doing this? The answer will come in one of these 5 flavors. I'm a part of this team because I'm trying to keep food on the table. That would be a red-oriented perspective. I'm doing this because that's what people do. Maybe this is the kind of job that my parents wanted me to have, and so I'm conforming to some sort of set of rules that has been given to me. That would be an amber perspective. I'm doing this because I want to achieve the next level. I had a salary that was at this level before. I'm part of this job because I want to achieve a salary that's higher. I'm a part of this team because the work that we do is just something that I am passionate about. I'm a motion graphics artist. I'm a web designer. I like that industry. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, because I personally like it. Or finally, I'm here because I'm playing an important role in part of a bigger story. I can see that the actions that I'm taking are helping to realize a version of the world that I believe in, that I want to see become real.